Casas home.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's a Café Anyway located somewhere in Podcastro.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Valleyton. It's Mike Matthews. How are yous? There we go. I'm glad that's news to you that we're singing this song. I've decided the name of this podcast will be Hatch. And that wasn't a very long leader to start the show with.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yes. And I also have discovered as well, yours truly,
Mike's
has been
Daily
pretty consistent
Podcast
with this Mike's Daily Podcast thing.
Yeah!
That could all change. That could all change in a moment. Sometimes life just gets crazy and I get interrupted and I can't be as daily as I'd like to, but I try. And that's why we call it Mike's Daily Podcast. Somewhere in Podcastro, Valleyton, the last place on earth. And you can catch all the past podcast pictures at mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there. It's safe. It's secure. And it just has a bunch of the podcast pictures and links to all the different places you can listen to this podcast. The last podcast was entitled Covert, because we featured Rocky the cat with an interesting picture. And he was under the covers as we were taking a road trip a couple weeks back where we went up to Russian River, to Guerneville, to that area, but took the coast, went to Bodega Bay, and so much fun. I don't think we stopped at a Starbucks, though. I did on my birthday because they gave me a free drink, which I discovered you got to get that the day of your birthday. You can't go, oh, I'll use this some other time. No, you use it or you lose it. But Starbucks has been raising their prices. Yes.
And here's today's podcast picture.
But they themselves have been rising in the stock market with their shares. The podcast picture is from that trip, by the way. It is that beautiful Bodega Bay, kind of looking south. I forget the name of that beach down there. I've gone not kite flying, but the stunt kites that do all kinds of crazy. And the late great Basil the Boxer was there with me years ago when we did that. And he was running around barking at the kites. At some point I will post that cool picture because that was fun from way back, almost 10 years ago. But Starbucks reported earnings and revenue that topped expectations, fueled by a strong demand for pricier drinks. That's always good. If your product that your company sells, you can hike up the price for, get more money for. Starbucks for the longest time, that their drinks, it's all foam. There's nothing there. I feel bad. I went in and got my drink. I ordered my drink online. I never order in the store unless I'm at an airport, which I'm never at an airport anymore. Last time I was in an airport was over a year and a half ago. But you're at a Starbucks, you're like, I didn't think of ordering this on the app beforehand.
The Newsbleed section.
I go online, do the order, add a bunch of things, and then see what I get. For the most part, they put everything in there that I tell them to. But on my birthday, I go crazy because they give you this free drink, and I go, how expensive can I get this drink? The most expensive yours truly has gotten with a drink is almost to $9. I know, in today's world, that seems like pittance, like nothing. But I guess I got to get more creative with some of the stuff I want them to add. So here at Café Anyway, we don't treat our wonderful drink servers like that. The wonderful Madame Rutabaga. Sometimes Chely helps out. What about the guys, Mike? Yeah, sometimes Bison Bentley.
MTV News. You hear it first.
Occasionally John Deere, the engineer, he will engineer a drink that will make people fly through the windows. And of course, the Brewmaster. Disgruntled Fiddle Player, we don't let him make drinks because we want to be able to keep our eyesight. So, Fueled by the strong demand for pricier drinks, the shares of the company rose 10%. For the last 90 days, they have made, check this out, Starbucks has made over $9 billion in the last 90 days. That's just from me. No.
News random.
The drink I got from Starbucks was free. The income, they've made about $1 billion in income. The company's same-store sales rose 8%, fueled by a higher average 3% increase in customer traffic. Let's see. Also, Starbucks pumpkin cream cold brew. I didn't try that one. The cold brew, an iconic pumpkin spice latte, make it quite popular this time of year. So I guess it rose the average check-in of people going into Starbucks rose 6%.
Awesome.
And this is the company is forecasting it will increase its global footprint by 7% in 2024.
Ain't life grand? Matthew's News. Mike's absolutely useless review.
Disney is going to, doing that thing where it's purchasing the remaining stake in Hulu.
Wow.
For at least $8.61 billion. You know who owns Hulu now is Comcast, NBC Universal. So we'll see. Disney apparently is now giving out a dividend. It has not given out a dividend in several years. The last time the dividend per share was about 80 cents. Now the dividend is 30 cents. Gone down 50 cents. And 50 Cent would be proud because his name was just mentioned on this podcast. Ding. But there is also Bob Iger and Elon Musk having their little rivalry. Well, it was all during that, is it called Deal Book convention happening in Florida. And Elon Musk walks out and he's got to wear these bomber jackets now because he thinks he's Howard Hughes. Because he does a lot of stuff that Howard Hughes dabbled in all kinds of things. Hopefully, Elon Musk doesn't have all the OCD stuff. Oh, wait, he probably does. Isn't he autistic? Well, somehow he seems to be managing it because he hasn't grown an enormous beard and become Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of The Aviator. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth that I am not. Sometimes I get the Jim Gaffigan voice. I'm not doing it quite there. Hi, I'm Jim Gaffigan. Yeah, he does that kind of thing.
All right, let's go.
Oh, God, he makes a lot of money. So, Elon Musk, of course, got the Cybertrucks. They're going to be trickling out a little bit of production this year, but don't expect, he says, the Cybertruck to hit normal deliveries until 2025. 2 years from now, working with steel is turning out to be the bottleneck.
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
Rivalry going on. Oh, so Disney pulled a lot of their advertising, pulled all their advertising from X. And Elon had made that comment. I don't even know what it was, what the tweet was having to do with Israel. Then he goes to Israel and meets with Benjamin Netanyahu, as you all know. So, because he can do that, because he's Elon Musk, because he's got some stuff that he does that people want in other countries, as particularly Ukraine. Is it Starlink? To be able to use satellites to get around having to use cell towers and whatnot, so you're directly linked to the internet via satellites. Very powerful, and powerful people they'll forgive anything the other powerful people say. But Elon Musk said basically a bunch of bad words regarding Disney and Bob Iger. Bob Iger is trying to get the stock up. He's trying to turn things around. A lot of things went south. Their movies are just doing horrible. Everyone now has to agree about that. Even the idiot people that walk around with Captain America shirts on, walk around in their little underoos because they never grew up, because they're Peter Pans, and got to wear their Hulk shirts. Oh, wait, I have a Hulk shirt. I got a free Hulk shirt, the Edward Norton Hulk. When it was released, I was working for a radio station out in Huntsville, Alabama, and the promotions director was really cool. And he would go, "Hey, Mike, you want a t-shirt?" And would just throw me one. It would have been nice if he did his job every once in a while, but he basically made me do his job for my radio station. It was a cluster of stations is how we would say it. Not a gaggle, not a murder, not a pride, but a cluster of radio stations. And my particular radio station, he really didn't pay much attention to. So
Mike ripped someone a new one.
But he's a great guy, and promotions-wise, he helped us out with, he'd give me some what we call swag. And this was a Hulk t-shirt. But I don't go out and buy Marvel stuff. I don't go out and buy Star Wars stuff. That just seems so infantile. Oh, but Mike, you don't have kids. I'd buy them the shirt, not me.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
Wine. Well, I like
The whiny white man wine list.
There's Disney, which manages all of this, has been managing it poorly, has done too much with... have you even heard what they do with Disney Plus when they make these shows?
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
They get a good writer that they find. Okay, all right, we kind of like your concept here. Here are millions and millions of dollars. Make it.
Right? Good.
And so they just make the dialogue. They pull. Have you seen any really good podcast or listen to any really good podcast or seen any good video channel on YouTube where they break down the dialogue from these Disney shows and just how awful it is, particularly the Star Wars shows? There is absolutely no imagination, no thought. I watch so much BritBox and Masterpiece now, PBS Masterpiece, which you can get through Amazon Prime. Forget about Disney Plus. I ain't watching that stuff. Because the dialogue on even the worst show on BritBox or Masterpiece or even Acorn.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
We're watching David Tennant's Around the World in 80 Days, based on Jules Verne, but not really. And it's a series. And even that dialogue is 20 times better. But Disney's trying to turn it around. I don't think they're going to do it. I think it's going to take them a long, long, long time.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
When I see pictures and video of the magic castles or whatever they call them at the Disney parks, every castle's different apparently. Who's coming up with these colors? It's supposed to be all, fantasy and Disney-y. And I just, that purple, pink, whatever. It's a Barbie world type thing. I'm like, I can't look at you castles anymore.
That's crazy.
I don't get it. People, why they spend so much money to go to these Disney parks.
Mike's scavenger hunt.
I'm not even getting into the woke thing. Apparently, South Park did a really good episode where they poked fun at how Disney's gotten so woke. But it's a tough time. I would not want to have Disney stock right now. At one point, oh boy, if I could only have Disney stock with the just about the time Avengers, Infinity Wars, and all that happened, the stock was flying up into the stratosphere.
Ridiculous random posts
it's just so pathetic. The people that are such huge Disney fans. Now watch, right after this, I'm going to probably go to that channel where they're walking around the park today on a Sunday and they're broadcasting live on YouTube.
It's pretty interesting.
Because a part of me will wish I'm there. I had some great memories with my mom at the Disney parks in Florida. And then when I was a kid, the Disneyland Anaheim, the first one, we would go there all the time. Not all the time. Once, maybe every other year. It seemed for a while it was a lot because a lot of people were visiting us from out of state, out of the country, and we had to take them to Disneyland. So that's only going to keep it going for so long, the nostalgia factor. And Disney has been harvesting the nostalgia factor for all it's worth, to the point that they've just scraped it down to the bottom and there's nothing left. And they've destroyed it.
Yo, the mic tip.
And even the most pro-Disney people are going,
Fair and unbalanced.
So that is happening in the world of that. And I guess, apparently Target said that their shoppers are pulling back even on groceries. They're not buying stuff. I used to shop at Target for groceries all the time. For months and months I did that when I was living in Alabama. The Target in Ventura, where I used to live, was nowhere near as big as the one that was in Alabama. When we moved to Huntsville, Alabama, I'm like, okay, wow, they got some good stuff here. I'm just going to shop here. It's big, but I guess they're having some problems as well. Outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, look who is here.
Hello, Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Disneyland is great. I like to go there wearing my Minnie Mouse ears, like Matthew.
Oh, that's great. That's so imaginative. You dress like Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, Mike Matthews. It's like so cute, and I feel so like feminine.
Ah, that's why. I want to get a new snow globe because we're getting so close to Christmas.
I don't have any.
What? Oh my gosh.
The Myclopedia Infanica.
Gosh. Onwards we go to the next person. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, Mike, I have been serving delicious holiday frothy drinks with lots of froth to the customers here at Café Anyway. Mm-mm. That is the problem with Starbucks. It's just so much foam. Why? Give me some substance there. I'm not talking about this podcast. Oh, there is so much substance. In fact, let's get to some substance now. This is the part of the show that is called Let's Go Back with Matthews.
Let's go back with Matthews.
Cassette copy.
We'll make this a quick one. I discovered this from over 30 years ago. This is over 30 years ago, Mike. So I'm about 23, 22, something like that. So, yeah, let's go back and enjoy this time. What was I? Well, I had hair back then. I remember that. I remember I was commuting, working at 3 different radio stations. In fact, I'll give you a smattering of 3 of the radio stations I was working for at this time. This is in the summer-ish time of 1992. Wow.
Most Music 187 with Mike Matthews inside another 50-minute music hour with On the Way, Eddie Money and Vanessa Williams on the way, along with a chance to win trips, music, movie passes, summer fun packs, and more with the Summer Spin on the Y97 Wheel of Fortune. The spinning starts Monday morning exclusively from your destination station, Y97. Excellent. And the most music, Y97.
Oh, Vanessa Williams. Oh, so soothing.
I I love that song. Most Music 197. Well, this is Mike Matthews heading up into the 2 o'clock hour, and LV, not Elvis, but LV, she's great. You're gonna love her. She's up next with another 50-minute music hour on Most Music Y97. Bye.
Jody Watley.
Rock from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s. We're 92.7 FM. Just into the 2 o'clock hour with Mike all night, and it's time for the 2 o'clock tabloid break. Okay.
What the?
That's enough with that effect. Okay. The topic today is religion. Oral Roberts Ministry says it's canceling the daily religious program of the televangelist's son. His name's Richard Roberts. But Oral Roberts' own weekly show will continue with the son as a co-host. Today's cancellation follows a lawsuit claiming the ministry owes a Christian satellite cable system in North Carolina nearly $300,000 for broadcasting more than a year of Richard Roberts and the long-running Miracles Today. Oh, I remember that show. I'm kidding. The cancellation of Richard Roberts' show is effective immediately, the ministry says. Well, Richard, there's always Fox. I hear they're looking for some good programs. We're the new 92.7 FM, and that is the end of the 2 o'clock tabloid break.
Awesome journey there. So, see, the first thing was Most Music Y97. That was 92.7. So Y97 was in Santa Barbara. Then I have to get in a car, drive all the way down the beautiful Highway 1, Highway 101 coastline, go all the way through past Ventura, Camarillo, up the grade into Newbury Park, Thousand Oaks, and then made it to KNJO 92.7. And there I was doing a tabloid something.
Everybody make some noise! Woo! Bringing to you live from Podcaster Valleymont, Mike's Daily Podcast.
See, all the radio stations I worked with had to end in 7, because that's very biblical. That's odd. Do you know this is the first time I realized that? 30 years later? Weird. Over 30 years?
KXPS, Santa Paula Ventura, The Bus, 96.7.
Oh my gosh!
The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth it. But you know what? They come back up and people start playing them, and it's like, oh, where'd that come from?
Them, right? Don't bring me down.
The Bus, 96.7. Matt Michaels stepping in for a Saturday night with Marvin Gaye.
Oh, yeah, and I was Mike on the other 2 stations, and here I flipped my name around to Matt Michaels. On The Bus.
The Bus, 96.7, and Joni Mitchell, Help Me from 1974. Good evening, Matt Michaels with you on a Saturday night and weekday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. It's Taking Care of Business. While you're at work, Stephanie Rose plays all your favorite songs you request. All you need to do is call us at the bus lines. Taking Care of Business, sponsored by Barnacle Bills in the Channel Islands Harbor. It's right here on The Bus, 96.7.
It only happens twice.
Makes me sneeze, then it makes it hard to find a door.
The Bus, 96.7.
All the Stones. Look at that. Yeah, we played, it was supposed to be 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We played just about everything from the 50s to the 80s. And so at this point, it's 92. We played maybe a little bit of 90s. But yeah, that was a fun station. Sometimes I was playing songs I had no idea what how do you say this guy's name? What's the name of this group? Am I saying it right? They're called the what? But yeah. So that was in Oxnard, which is in between Santa Barbara and Thousand Oaks. And hopefully I don't get dinged by YouTube playing all this Rolling Stone stuff. Dang.
The Bus, 96.7. Matt Michaels with you on a Saturday night. Just got out of a wedding, and I think I could use this tune. Words of Love, Buddy Holly and the Crickets on 96.7.
And actually, now that I'm remembering this, Okay, the wedding that I'm just mentioning there, 23-year-old self, was my friend Erin, her sister's wedding, Lori. And it was in Camarillo at the Catholic Church there. That's right. And I had to leave early to do this shift on the radio. Wow. And it was, okay, so I didn't want to change my name, but my boss at the bus, he's like, well, you're on in Santa Barbara and you're on in Thousand Oaks and you're saying your name is Mike Matthews on both stations. So I don't want people to get mixed up and thinking they're listening to one of those other radio stations, and that'll mess up our ratings. So I need you to change your name. I go, okay, how about Matt Michaels? And that was the birth of my name, Matt Michaels, which actually, I was Matt Michaels for then years, decades, all the way up into 2008, late 2008. So and when I was on Kehei in Ventura County, I went by Matt Michaels and everybody called me Matt. And I still have friends that call me Matt. But that's where it all started, was with that tape right there that I discovered recently and was able to get recorded digitally. It was a bit of a nightmare to do it. I had to find the cassette player I had didn't work. And I'm looking at cassette players on Amazon, and there were some that would work, and so, it was a whole nightmare. But I got something rigged up now. I've MacGyvered something together, so I was able to get that cassette little bit for you there with Let's Go Back with Matthews. And we end the show with your input, because you can tell us what you think. Maybe about what we've covered so far on the show, or maybe which one of these songs you like best with the segment, The Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. Here we go. We're going to play for you.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
5 songs. Right. These were emailed to me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Which one of these do you like the best? The first one I have for your samplage, for your ear enjoyment, is from Brent Amaker and the Rodeo. Since forming his Seattle-based outfit, Brent Amaker and the Rodeo, in 2005, Amaker has reveled in an idiosyncratic style that doesn't fit into preordained categories. He's a country singer whose brand is known for dressing in matching black cowboy outfits, yet Amaker is more inspired by art rock icons like Devo and David Bowie. Here we go, a little bit of his song, his new song called Take It By the Horns.
I'll hold your hand, we'll tell you how it's done. If you want it bad enough, it'll surely come. Life ain't that hard. Get up out of bed, do something smart.
Wow, he's not even trying to lip sync to this. Look it up on YouTube. That's crazy. Okay, Brent Amaker. The next song we have, I can't play too much of these songs because I will get dinged by YouTube, is by Content Blocks, is the name of this NYC duo, rather. Emerging from New York City's subterranean trenches, Content Blocks explore the acoustical infrastructure of their environs through effective, reflective soundscapes and post-club iterations. Let's listen to a little bit of their song that is called IMDS, Content Blocks. All right, a little bit of that, and the video is really weird with a bunch of graphics that I don't understand, but I guess that's big with that type of music. Brent Amaker, by the way, looked a little bit like Larry Bud Melman, if you remember that, if you know of any David Letterman lore. The next band is called Gene, and this is, it says, Hi Mike, Hold My Head Up Higher is the third single off my upcoming LP and the second co-write feature that Ian Blurton and I have done in the past couple years. We were in pre-production for the new album. Ian and I bounced an idea he had back and forth for a couple weeks, long distance, before really solidifying the song in studio rehearsals. Okay, and the name of this song is Hold My Head Up Higher. And that's the band Gene, Jeen. Hold My Head Up Higher, featuring Ian Blurton. And then we have for song number 4, Sun Junkies. Hi, Mike, it says in this email. When I was writing Stay For, the number 4, the night, I was struggling with the fact that I had lost touch with most of my old friends, not because of any kind of turmoil, but just from distance and time. I started to convince myself that these people blamed me for the loss of the contact, when in reality, I'm sure we all understand that sometimes things just change. Here is this Sun Junkies band and their song called Stay For The Night. Sun Junkies. Wow, it's getting... Does this pick up at all? Oh, there we go. All right, that's all I can play. I don't want to get dinged. All right, it has a slow part and then it picks up. There you go. A change in tempo, as it were. And finally, the 5th song is by Ava... No, wait a minute. Fake Shape. Here we go. Hey, Mike, hope you had a nice weekend, it says. Fake Shape is an experimental band from Hamilton, Ontario. They settle in between a melange of eclectic influences, a little indie rock, some solid jazz flow, and even the odd twang in the vocal. Chester Eddington states, he's the guitarist and vocalist, that through actively practicing collaboration, we are able to write better music. The resulting music works together as a whole. So here we go. Here's a little bit of this band. It's called Fake Shape and their song Black Bear. Oh, it's kind of like a breakdown there. Wow. Let's see where we got to see where it goes. Oh, wow. Some more jazziness here. Interesting. All right, so that's the band Fake Shape. All right, I don't want to get dinged. Okay, I'm probably going to get dinged. So there you go. Fake Shape is the name of that band. So which one did you like better? Brent Amaker and the Rodeo? Content Blocks? Gene? Sun Junkies? Or Fake Shape? You can call me at this number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with more ways to reach me, here's A-Frame. And that was episode 2721, 2721.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!